to the Popcorn Posse. I'm Shatay.
And I'm Danny. And this is a space where we talk about everything discussed in the Beehive. Mm-hmm. Kind of the tea, but not the tea. Mm-hmm. But things that are important to us and that we need to talk about.
That's right. That's right. From relationships to money to aging. All the things that come up while we are working on our business in the building.
And dealing with life.
In the building.
In the building.
In the building. So today we have...
Jennifer Barbosa with International Supply Partners.
Yay,
so listen, y'all, the power of the popcorn, okay? Let me tell you, right? We have already been talking about how Miss Danny over here, the popcorn lady, makes the popcorn from scratch, how we all gather around the popcorn. Jennifer comes in to grab the popcorn.
For the popcorn.
Did you
even say hello?
She said I came for the popcorn.
In my head. And then I saw the popcorn.
I just came for the popcorn.
The popcorn. She pulls up, grabs a seat, and child, we start talking about divorce immediately, organically.
Yeah, we were like, yo,
and
roll the tape. Let's talk about this.
Yeah. Totally derailed your plans.
Right. Yeah, it's okay. Listen,
you said, well, we could talk. Jennifer's married. I said, no, I'm happily divorced.
Yes. And then I was like, oh, me too. And you were like,
here we go. Here we go. And how this is affecting your businesses, ladies.
Yeah, I would love to start back. Like, you said some powerful things. Like, you said something about being happily divorced and, like, you don't know if you would be here.
I would not be who I am and where I am now if it wasn't for that divorce.
Wow.
Can you say more? Just real quick.
I don't know if I'd even be here, literally,
like
physically. The catalyst of my business happened while I was going through my divorce.
Same.
And it was that my business was what helped me process through the divorce. Because it was I had to put time and energy in something that was separate from everything else that I was dealing with and managing through. And it allowed me to build something, you know what I mean? Rebirth, birth something new and different while I was dealing with the death.
Yes.
And it is a mourning, so I hear.
Absolutely. It's the
Both
death.
Both of you can probably speak to that more than I know for sure.
Mourn through it.
It's so much grief.
And you have to, and then I feel like it's a death of a lot of things. It's the death of the dreams and hopes that you had. It's the death of the relationship that you were trying to build.
Of who you were.
And the death of who you were in that space,
Right.
you know? And then
because you were a wife and you were a mom.
And I took so much pride in all of that.
Yeah.
I you know what I mean? Like, we, on paper and in pictures, we look like the beautiful Brady Bunch family. The Black Brady Bunch is what sometimes they, and it was one of the things that I wanted to be when I thought as a little girl growing up. I wanted to be a mom and I wanted to be a wife and I wanted to be married and raise a family. Like, I took pride in that. But
did you also want a career at the same time?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've always wanted to be a businesswoman. I saw myself in all of those roles and fulfilling all of those things. What I did not realize or failed to consider was finding a partner that had the same values and vision.
Yes.
And you can't build in that way.
You cannot. My mother said, you have to make sure, and this is by the time I was already in it and things were sort of crumbling, she was like, do you know if you all have the same vision? Because you can't pull him along. You can't drag someone along. And I thought, like, oh, snap. Am I dragging?
I'm dragging.
And you can't make somebody do something they don't want to do.
No, that's so good. Let me tell you, when you're talking about business, the way that I love how you said you're building your business sort of saved you in a way and like helped you through the grief. For me, there was so much of the end of that relationship that really wore on my confidence. And I was newly back to building my business as things were falling apart. So it was a very hellish year for me in terms of building my business. You know, like, I was a freelancer in my first career, and then I went into corporate, and now I'm building a business like in this entrepreneurial way. And then that was happening. My marriage is now falling apart. And then also dealing with a grandmother in another state who has advancing dementia. So it was just like this year that was like, I didn't ask for any of this. Me and God beefed a lot last year.
That's okay. He's all right.
What we
He's
talked about.
We're homies, so it's fine. So I just remember after reflecting, like so much of that from the relationship seeped into my business, and that I could not find my voice enough to decide what to do. And you know, with business building, you have to have instinct, you have to trust yourself, you have to have faith, you have to really have a confidence about it in order for it to go somewhere. And there was so much of that first year where I was just like looking for someone to tell me what to do because I did not trust my own voice in it. And so I was just like all these pivots and this way, that way. And none of it felt quite right because none of it was quite me.
So how did you rebalance? How did you find your footing?
It was the healing process for me. So at a certain point, you know, I've been in therapy all along, right? So there's God, there's therapy. I started getting back to the things, finding myself again. I'm starting to dance again. Dance break.
Dance break. We take dance breaks. Go.
I'm ready for it.
Right. All right. So I'm dancing again. I'm taking walks in nature. I'm journaling. I'm doing all these things that to
Those
like
are
really nurture my
important.
soul. Yes. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Bump what anybody's telling me. I don't care if you think it's going to make money. I don't care if you understand it or not.
I'm back.
This is who I am and this is what I'm doing in the world. And then it was just a decision, but after all of that stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
After the work.
After the work, for
Was
sure.
it the same for you?
For me, what it was, like, I was going through my divorce during the pandemic. And I was
That's hard.
thrown into it. But luckily, and again, following, like when I finally came to terms that this is not going to work and I am not going to, I could not trust that I was going to be alive, you know what I mean? Because of what it was doing to me physically, you know, emotionally, spiritually, I decided to move out.
Yeah.
And this was right before the pandemic, literally right before. And that also, and
What it would have been.
oh,
You stayed or
Been quarantined in
yes,
that.
had you been
yeah,
quarantined?
no, it would have, that would have been like, it's just, it's hard to even articulate because it's scary. And then also because the kids that, I don't know who would have survived through it. You know? No, it is. Like, mental health is really important.
It is. And stress kills.
Stress
It does.
literally
Yeah,
kills.
yeah.
And like, I was losing my hair. I've always been like physically like on the thinner side, and I was putting on weight that I didn't even know how to manage.
That's stress weight, yeah.
Yeah. And my, how I dealt with things, my communication, even with the kids, like it was just ugly. It was just not a pretty sight. And I didn't like who I was.
Yeah.
And, I felt obligated to try to fit this picture that I had in my head of what we should look like. And, you know, and it wasn't working. And my ex-husband was not what we just did not see the same things. And I could not fix things that I had nothing to do with breaking.
Girl.
You know? And
Nor should you be responsible
and I
for.
can't be responsible,
Yeah,
nor if you're not trying to work to fix it, I can't do anything
do
about
this.
it. I can't even support you.
Yeah.
And then there was a thing that I had to say, and I said, I was just like, the ship is going down, and I can't get all of the water out by myself, and you don't want to, and I'm not gonna let.
I can't go down with
I
you.
can't go down. We can't all go down with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after you left and you were saved by getting out prior to COVID, then the grief started. Then the reassessment started. Then the process of what is life going to look like as it is new to me? How did that start? When did it start? Was there a catalyst that made you go, all right, sort of like, Shatay, like, all right, you know what? I'm standing in this now. Was there an aha moment?
The aha moment came before I moved out, where I came to terms with there is nothing I can do but save myself and my kids. And so I started the process, and I had to try to find the most peaceful way to get us out.
Without harm.
Without harm.
Yeah.
And just as little disruption as possible.
Yeah.
So that's when I moved out, and I talked to my kids about it. Like, this was a planned process that I had to get out. And because of my past experience, I needed to be very strategic about it, because I know what happens when things like that happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of ego.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like dealing with it in process, that required a lot of humbling.
Yeah.
And listening. Like, I had to listen to my children and their experiences and come to realization of things that they had experienced and were dealing with that I had no clue of.
Yeah.
And part of it was because some of it did not occurred when I wasn't present.
Yeah.
And also some things that they did not share with me because they felt the burden of trying to hold themselves in place because they didn't want to disappoint me. You know what I mean? And I felt like I apologized to them about making trying to build a family unit for them, and then it falling apart, and I felt responsible for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were like, "Mom, we wish you left sooner."
Oof. Out of the mouth of babes, right?
Yeah. And I was just like, I was trying to keep it for you guys because
we discredit kids a lot. They see, they feel, they know. Yeah,
they're connected to.
They do.
In a
They
really
do.
weird way. Yeah.
And so, that was coming, and then I had to come to terms, like really humbling myself and listening to the things that I failed them on because I was so committed to fitting this picture and making it look. You know what I mean? And in the process, there were things that I neglected that they needed me in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was really humbling, and that was like a thing that I had to really contend with.
Ooh, so, I have a follow-up question but it resonated with me so much what you just said, especially about just kind of acknowledging you had to make a decision to save yourself. I heard when I was going through everything, and I was sort of contending a lot with church at the time because, that's another community where I'm embedded and it's important to me. And so you hear so often in church, like, don't let the enemy steal your marriage and all these things about like how you're sort of failing if you happen to be a Christian and get divorced.
Like, what happens when you're sleeping with the enemy?
That's the exact words my mother used, right? And so then, exactly. And
literally, you're literally like sleeping with the enemy.
Yes. And there was this one moment where my pastor was like, even in a sermon, he wasn't talking about, I think, not relationships, but like romantic relationships. But he said something like, you know how when someone's drowning and you're trying to save them and then like you get sucked under too? And he's like, I'm not going to be that kind of person. I'm going to toss you a lifeline, and then I'm going to save myself. And I was like, you have to save yourself. That's why they tell you to put your mask on first in the airplane.
Yes.
Like if something's happening, so that then, right? And so I totally, totally get that. How then you had that moment. I'm so glad your babies were like, listen.
We riding, Mom.
We're leaving, right? So knowing this, it sounds like business-wise, I guess I would love to know, has divorce shaped any way that you show up in your business?
That's actually where I was going with that.
Okay, good. We're on the same page.
I'm like, all right, we got the reset.
Yeah.
Personal life is what it is. What does that look like in business? How did it bleed over?
Yeah, how did it inform how you show up? Yeah.
Well, I think what bled over is my sense of having to feel like I'm fighting all the time, And so in business, you are constantly challenged.
Yeah.
And things don't always go according to plan, and you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It comes with it. So dealing with a tumultuous marriage and divorce, I had to learn how to navigate, but also regulate myself and look at what challenges ahead and not come at from a space of of defensiveness all the time.
Yeah.
But early on, I was like, and then being in a very male dominated industry and being a woman,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, and being told I don't belong, being told, you know what I mean? Or literally being taken advantage of,
Wow.
and I've always had to deal with men. Like, I've always had to deal with men in this industry. And men that come to show up as if they're trying to help and build with you. And then you find out that they're taking advantage of you. And they're trying to, you leverage your, like, women, we naturally want to care and help and work together, right? That's our way.
Nurturers.
We're nurturers, right? And there are people who will try to find a way to use that to their advantage at our cost.
Yeah.
And I dealt with that multiple times.
Yeah.
People literally trying to take my business,
Wow.
steal it from under me,
Wow.
or telling me that I don't belong in that space.
Wow.
Or, and I mentioned this before, like telling me that they're not helping me unless I fuck them.
Oh.
Literally.
Wow.
Like verbatim.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah. And so
People out here wilding, yeah.
Yeah.
Golly.
but that comes with it, and then it
Yeah.
shows you learn how to navigate through that,
Yeah.
and you have to learn how to manage it yourself. It's a constant thing. I'm not
Still
an
happens.
expert, and I'm still learning and still trying to manage how I respond and look at things in perspective, and then also try not to take things personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it really, in a lot of ways in business especially, it's not personal and it's not about you.
Right.
And even with marriage and going through the divorce, we take so many things personal because we put so much into it, but we fail to consider that it really isn't personal. Who was your partner who became your enemy, now they're trying to self-preserve whatever it is, and they're making decisions for themselves, not personal to you, even if it means that they're going to hurt you, because it's self-preservation.
Absolutely. There's a book that the 4 Agreements, and it's like, right?
Oh yes,
all the first, I don't know if it's the first or second agreement. It's like everyone has these set of agreements with themselves.
Yes.
And so we cannot take anything personal because you are showing up, I am showing up based on the agreements that I have with myself. And so if I happen to offend you, right, our exes happen to run amok, it is because of the agreements that they have with themselves, their mindsets, their thoughts, their beliefs, and it's causing them to show up in a certain way. It is not about us at all. Yeah.
What's the name of the book again?
The Four Agreements.
You have that. I've read that book. So many other books that I through that divorce, and it really helps you put things in perspective.
Yeah.
And then it also, you have to look at yourself and take ownership and accountability for what did I do to contribute.
Absolutely.
What did I do to contribute? I know what I did to contribute, and I'm sure there are other things that I probably have not come to terms with or realized.
Yeah.
But and that's the same thing with business. And you have to look at, what am I contributing and what am I being complacent of?
Yes.
What am I preparing and planning and not preparing and planning? What are the consequences that come along with that?
Yeah.
And all of that are things that you have to do within your business, or if you don't do, you deal with within your business.
I love that. For me, can I answer the same question?
Sure.
For me, it is what's carried over for business is this sense of, I never really felt like I was a control freak, but I am organized and I plan, right?
You are very organized.
I never felt that was like being controlling, right? But this whole ending of a marriage and divorce has really shown me how not in control I am of life. And so it has allowed me to carry over in my business to be, I'm still on it. I'm still going to deliver. I'm still going to prepare in the way that I know to be true for me. But then also I know how to take a breath or not trip when the things happen that don't right? That I don't expect. Or if, if I've got some contracts ending up, which is a very real thing for me, I got contracts ending up right now and I don't quite know what's renewing for next year. At a certain point in my life, I would have been in a tizzy. Like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And now I'm like, It's fine.
It is what
it's,
it is.
It's going to work out, and
we're going to trust
I
God.
trust God. I have faith, and it is
God.
what it is, right? The other thing that it did for me in my business as a storyteller, and I'm always working on stories for different organizations and like in different productions, and it's given me an empathy, I think, a different kind of empathy, because I've always been pretty empathetic, but an understanding of when people have a little bit of friction in accepting their story, right? Because I'm always like, own your story, use your story, don't let it use you. And now I get it, where if it's like, it's a little harder for someone to like use their story because of like the impact that experience might have had in their life. I have a little bit more grace in terms of like pushing someone to really, really own their story, even though I know that owning your story is the most powerful position you can take.
That's
It's
so funny
in
you say
business.
that. I
Right.
don't know. I'm
And in
supposed to
life,
come and look for some popcorn because, girl,
we need to be talking.
having a conversation about that, because like it's two things for me in regards to like what you say as far as your story.
Yeah.
I know innately that my experiences and stories, and I have story. I feel like I've lived multiple lives. There's a reason for it, and even owning it and sharing it can be a source of inspiration
Yes.
and
Yes.
support
Yes.
or release for someone else, right? But also in the same context, on the other side of it, I'm challenged with when I do that and show that level of vulnerability.
Yeah.
That can it be weaponized against me?
It could.
And also, does that make me weak?
Do you feel as if it makes you weak, or are you asking the question from the receiver's perspective?
I feel that it doesn't make me weak. But I spent too much time worried about other people looking at me weak, and then feeling like I have to fight to show that I'm capable.
Yeah.
Right.
Despite everything that I've done and accomplished and come out on the other side of, that says I am not weak. I'm
Should be
resilient.
here. Absolutely.
I'm strong. I'm capable. And I'm a phoenix. I have come out the fire multiple times.
Period. Okay.
Yes,
Phoenix.
But you still have that voice inside us, like.
Yeah.
So it's the inside voice.
It's the inside voice, and
It's not necessarily how you feel you might be perceived.
It is that too.
Okay.
It is that too, and because I'm surprised by how much people, when they say, "Oh, you're so this and you're so that," I'm just like,
that coach is an ambassador. She's
Right.
she's our global queen here.
and I'm just like, no, it's just me.
No, I think everybody feels that on some level. To your point, it is a fair point that someone could hear your story and weaponize it, or try to use it as a point of weakness. And I think it's just the power, the potential for impact for the people around you, right? Because everything that we go through is not even really for us. So I am here going through this thing that I never thought I would have to go through in my entire life. I didn't ask for that. I wouldn't have written that for myself. And yet I'm only like some months on the other end of it, and I've already seen how many folks I've been able to sort of empower or support, or just be like, if you're going through that, you'll be okay, you're going to make it. Like that's the whole point of it. And so,
the sharing of it.
The sharing of it. So there are risks with anything, but for you to have to be in a business that is male dominated, right? And for you to have made it and thrived, and so like whatever risk that there is with sharing a story, you'll be okay. Like you will withstand it. And so I think that's something to be mindful of, but not something to stop you.
And so that's what I have to work through, but I appreciate that, because like it's that's the thing. And I feel also, once I'm able to embrace sharing my story and feeling empowered despite those moments of weakness, I feel like it'll make me even more powerful.
Yes, it will.
Jinx, it will.
It will.
And help more people.
Once you own it and wear it as a badge.
It will.
So I have a quick question, sort of side note.
Wrap us up?
Yeah, well, sort of, kind of.
Okay.
You all have both been through, with God, traumatic situations.
Yeah.
But y'all are on the other side. how's the dating life?
Oh Lord,
Always be talking about the This is Danny.
Real quick. Are we having fun, ladies?
Man, I'm horrible.
Boy. Really?
No. I will say I'm having fun.
Okay.
The breath I took is like, how do I respond to this? So we're in Atlanta. I'll just name that.
Yeah.
And I think there's the dialogue.
the
A
thing.
lot of people are like, oh, the dating in Atlanta, da-da-da-da-da. I personally don't subscribe to that because I don't want it to be a mindset that I then am seeing like confirmation bias around. So I don't subscribe to that. I believe like what's for me is for me.
Yeah.
I will say that dating has been, it's fun to get out and be flirty again and like, just kind of get dressed up and go have drinks and like, ooh, let's like
let
that.
him remind y'all
Yes.
of how fierce y'all really are.
That is fun. But the thing that I'm contending with now that I did not expect is, and I don't know why I didn't expect it, but it's just who I am. Being faced with the idea of opening up again. I never thought that I would be a person that would have a problem with that, but now I find myself going on a couple dates with one person. And I'm like, oh, like, my friend of mine was like, have you opened up? Have you been vulnerable? And I'm like, ew.
Everybody does it.
I don't want to.
But everyone should not have access to you.
That's true. But the point is,
To that,
in
that regard, like that level, it sort of needs to be, you got to build up to the layers being pulled back.
I agree. And generally speaking, so taking this person out of it, out of the equation, how positioned or ready or willing am I to sort of open up again? I was kind of like, oh, I think I need some time. That's where I am.
Okay.
So for me, like after my divorce, like I had, so divorce was final during the pandemic, which was almost a year after I had left. I took a year to myself.
Nice.
Good for you.
Because I wanted to like get reacclimated with myself. Because like if I go into a divorce, I'm gonna continue operating like somebody's wife, and I was like, I'm not anybody's wife
anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I've had some experiences where again, not everyone has authentic and real intentions, although they may show and say those things. And so it takes time to be able to learn and to open up. And for a while, I would date just to kind of like, all right, this is my downtime.
The cobwebs off.
I don't have much of it. And I'm really particular about the time that I take away from the kids and everything. So it's hard to navigate. It's hard to navigate because I look at things a lot differently in regards to values, what I like, what I don't like, what my boundaries are, and then being a businesswoman and being in charge. How do you let go of that when you are trying to date and to just be soft and feminine?
That's a whole nother topic.
Conversation.
That is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
And
I've been yelled at, like, can I open that door? And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because it's hard to turn off. It's not
hard
intentional.
to turn off. It's not.
It is.
It's not. And in all honesty, like I realized I was just like, if I'm dating or when I'm in a relationship, I am very traditional in regards. I want the man to lead. I want to feel like I can trust them to lead me, and we can learn and grow and build together.
Yeah.
I don't want to make all the decisions.
Yeah.
We have to do that every day.
All day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
All day. And
They call it decision fatigue.
It is. It's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
And
I don't want to figure out where we're going to go eat.
But in their defense, and again, I don't want to spill into the next conversation, but in their defense, there are some folks who say they want decisions to be made, and then when they're made, they criticize how the decision is made. And so then...
Let's put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go down there.
No, and I get that
Yes.
too, but in general, I'm pretty easygoing. Like if I like you... and we have great conversation and great energy, we spend time together, we can just go for a long ride and I'm happy. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, although I will take the extravagant stuff.
We like that too, the balance.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
But for me, it's more so, do I enjoy your company? What I'm craving is being with someone that I enjoy being in silence with.
That's nice.
And just like, and then the most important thing is being able to be me.
Yes. That part.
You know, just
all of it.
Unapologetically, yeah.
Just authentically and unapologetically raw
Yep.
with
Yes.
who I am.
Yes.
And being human
Yep.
and
Yeah.
being in my skin
Yeah.
and feeling safe and still cared and loved.
Yeah.
And then still having that moment where I feel sexy, I feel powerful, and I can like turn it on and we can, you know what I mean? All of that.
Yes.
So that's what I'm seeking.
Same.
In the meantime, I'll work with it with myself.
I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me. Yes. On that note, it's been so lovely.
This
having
has been
you.
great.
Impromptu,
So-
but perfect.
Yay.
Power of the popcorn.
power of the popcorn.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that is the power of the popcorn, how we have just like randomly been able to share these moments of our experience together and how it's connecting to our business. I think that is, that's the point of it all. You want to end us off?
I thank you. But for you all, I'll say, let me go to this one. Y'all need to join us.
Come on. Every
Yes.
week.
Every week, we're in the, what do you call it, Rodney? Our super
Beehive.
Our super producer calls it the Beehive Bando.
Join us because you never know.
You don't know what's going to be popping.
Thank you.